Okay, give me 1 second, okay? Okay, are you able to hear me and can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Okay, yeah. Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone, because I know like people are connected with different part of this world, okay? And thanks for giving me this opportunity. So today, I will speak about what's the importance of AI governance in financial industry. Okay. So before move to the next slide, I can give you the background, right? So these days, like we are entering in a world where financial decisions are no longer made by humans, right? It's by algorithm, right? Like from loan approval to approvals to fraud detection, trading. Now is AI is operating at a scale and a speed that was not possible before, right? But the problem is, right, this shift raises a critical question: who is the responsible when these decisions go wrong? So today I will walk through why AI governance has become critical in financial system, and how AI is being used in real world application, and how we can implement practical governance frameworks. We will also look at the regulatory landscape, key governance principles, and a real world case example to connect theory with practice, right? So the goal is very simple: to understand how we can build AI systems that are not only powerful, but also trustworthy and compliant. So let's start with the key question. Why does AI governance really matter in finance today? Okay. My slides are moving well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just confirmed. Thank you. So the problem is statement, right? So why the like the because AI is going to like easy our work, but again, every technology or every innovation, right, has a pros and cons. So financial institutions are gradually dependent on AI-driven models for decision making, that affect credit allocation, fraud detection, trading methods, and consumer interaction. So while these technologies unlock efficiency and innovation, they also introduce new form of risk related to opacity, bias, accountability, and regulatory exposure. So the purpose of this presentation is to explore how AI governance and compliance frameworks can help institutions strike a balance between innovation and control. This talk brings together regulators, academic, and practitioners by connecting theory with the real world challenges of implementing AI governance in financial system. So by end of this presentation, the audience will have a clear understanding of this importance of AI governance, the regulatory forces shaping it, and the operational method that enable responsible and compliant and trustworthy AI adoption in finance. I can give you a very short example. So a bank basically deployed an AI model for the loan approvals, right? Initially, and everything looks perfect, strong accuracy, great performance metrics. But over time, they noticed something unusual. Okay, the model was constantly rejecting application from certain zip codes. Why? Because the historical data used for the training had embedded bias, and the AI learned it. Because AI is just a matter of like what actually we have the data and how we teach the AI, right? So the result is regulatory scrutiny, reputational damage, and the model had to be withdrawn. So this shows without governance, AI doesn't just make mistake; it scale them. Now, AI governance matters in finance because these decisions are high impact. They directly affect people and markets, right? If like let's say somebody like apply for loan and without the reason is reject, then it will be bad impact, and also uh, it's not beneficial for the consumer because he doesn't know like why there's rejected, right? So for example, in AI models can instantly approve or reject a loan, right, without has the real financial outcomes. At the same time, AI systems are harder to explain than traditional software. So customer may be denied a loan, but the reason may not be clear. That I told, right? So, and it's a regulated environment. That's a serious issue, right? Without the proper governance, these risks scale quickly. For instance, a biased model can unfairly reject certain groups across a thousand of decisions. That's why effective governance is critical. It ensures oversight, fairness, and trust while allowing AI to be used responsibly. The goal is just not to use AI, but to use it wisely and transparently. The purpose of this slide is to show that AI is already core part of financial system today, not just a future concept. AI is driving decision across multiple critical areas. For example, is a fraud detection. AI analyzes millions of transactions in real time and can instantly flag unusual activity like sudden overseas transaction. In credit scoring, AI goes beyond traditional method by analyzing spending behavior and transaction pattern to assess borrower risk more accurately. In trading, AI system process market data and execute it in milliseconds, far faster than humans, right? So in customer service, AI-powered chatbots handle large volume of queries, providing instant response while reduce the operational cost. So AI is not just supporting financial system, it's actively driving them. And each of these use cases introduce different risk marketing governance essential. The key point is here that AI's financial system is already subject to significant regulatory oversight. At a global level, regulatory framework are gradually focusing on risk-based approaches, transparency, and human oversight. For example, like high-risk AI system, right, such as those used in credit decision, are expected to meet striker, like requirement for explainability and control. So, in the US, existing supervisory guidance already applies to AI models, right? For instance, like SR 11.7 requires model validation, documentation, and ongoing monitoring, meaning AI models must be managed with the same strictness as the traditional risk models. At the same time, data protection regulation like GDPR, CCPA, GLBA, right? So impose strict requirement on how data is used. So for example, right, using customer data without proper consent or control can lead to compliance violation. So all of this makes one thing clear. AI governance is not separate from regulation. It is the mechanism that connect regulatory expectations with internal policies, processes, and technical controls. So governance is not just a best practice, it's essential for operating in a regulated AI environment. The key idea is here that effective AI governance is built on set of core principles that ensure AI systems operate responsibly and reliably. First, accountability. Every AI model and decision must have clear ownership. For example, if credit model makes an incorrect decision, then should be defined owner responsible for reviewing and fixing it. Responsibility cannot be hidden behind automation. Second, transparency and explainability. AI decisions must be understandable. For instance, if a customer is denied a loan, then institutions should be able to clearly explain the key reason behind that decision. This is essential for both regulators and customer trust. Third, fairness AI system must be tested to detect and reduce bias. For example, ensuring that approval rates are consistent and not unfairly towards against certain groups. Like without this, AI can unintentionally reinforce discrimination. And finally, security and privacy. Financial data must be protected throughout the AI lifecycle. For example, ensuring customer data is securely stored and used only with proper control and consent. Let's say like PI data, personal information data, right, should be encrypted, and like it should be not reachable directly through the AI system. So this is a critical for compliance and safeguarding sensitive information. Together, these all pillars ensure that AI systems are not just efficient, but also responsible, transparent, and trustworthy. The key idea is here that effective AI governance start with understanding the differences type of risk involved. AI system introduce model risk such as inaccurate predictions due to outdated data or overfitting data, operational risk like data quality issue or system failures, compliance risk, where model may lack proper documentation or fail to meet regulatory expectations, and ethical risk, including bias or unfair outcomes. Like when a model accidentally discriminates like against certain groups, right? So this is the example. So by clearly identify these risks, organization can better manage and control AI systems. The AI governance operating model defines how policies, rules, and processes work together in practice. It typically includes a policy framework aligned with enterprise risk management and regulatory expectations. A centralized AI inventory helps institute track where AI is used, classify models by like risk level, and apply promotion controls. Uh, just for like example, like a bank may maintain a registry for all AI models, identify which one are high risk, such as a credit decision models, and applying stricter like validation and oversight. Pre-deployment validation ensures the models meet performance, fairness, and explainability standards before use. So while post-deployment monitoring defects, drift, emerging risk, and control failures over time. Like for example, like if a fraud detection model starts generating too many false positives, monitoring system can flag this issue for review, clear escalations and reporting mechanism, then ensure that such issues are reported to appropriate oversight bodies such as risk committees or board in a timely manner. This shows like that governance is not just a defined, it's actively executed and continuously monitored. A conceptual AI governance architecture helps visualize how different control layers interact. At the foundation is data governance, which ensure data quality, access control, and privacy compliance. Above this sits model governance, covering validations, explainability, performance monitoring, and documentation. At the top of the oversight layer, where risk management, compliance, legal, and ethics committees provide direction and challenges, this layered architecture reinforces the idea that AI governance is not a single control or team, but is an integrated system spanning technology, process, and people across the organization. Let me give you one very simple example. Imagine like your credit card is suddenly used in another country, and the AI system immediately flags is a fraud, which is good. But imagine you are actually traveling, you are actually outside of your home country. The transaction is valid. Without proper governance, your card could be blocked instantly, causing frustration or even impacting an important payment. That's why governance matters. We combine AI with human review, thresholds, and audit trails. The goal is not just detecting the fraud, but is doing it in a way this is accurate, fair, and trusted. Fraud detection provides a practical example of AI governance in action. Machine learning models analyze the transaction pattern in real time to identify suspicious activity. Scientifically improving detection rates compared to manual rules. Governance control include clearly defined threshold for automated action, human in the loop review for high risk cases, and regular model validation. Compliance artifacts such as model documentation, decision logs, and audit trails support regulatory examination. This example demonstrates how strong governance enables effective AI use while maintaining control, accountability, and regulatory confidence. AI governance is expected to become more formalized and technology enabled in coming years. Regulation driven AI lifecycle management will require institutions to demonstrate compliance consistency, not just a deployment. Automated monitoring and compliance tooling will support real time assurance and faster regulatory responses. There will be growing emphasis on responsible and ethical AI as a differentiate or financial institution. Organizations that invest early in mature governance framework will be better positioned to adopt to regulatory change and maintain competitive advantage. To conclude, the key takeaway is that AI governance is no longer optional. It is a necessity for modern financial system. AI governance ensure trust, clarity, and control in systems that are continuously making critical financial decisions. At the same time, governance does not limit innovation, it actually enables it. By providing clear structure and control, organization can innovate with confidence. These also require the shift towards compliance by design, embedding governance throughout the AI lifecycle rather than treating it as an afterthought. And most importantly, aligning AI governance with risk management and ethical principles is essential to ensure fairness and maintain public trust. Ultimately, the organization that success with the AI will not be ones with the most advanced models, but the ones that can be built the most trustworthy ones. So I will leave you with this: what kind of future we are choosing to govern into the access. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Anshuman Khandelwal, for that informative session. Your insights on governance and